Hi, it's Dia. Today I'm kind of excited because I'm not only going to do a video incorporating a technique from Anne from A Colorful Life, but I'm doing a collaboration with her and a pretty awesome giveaway. So stay tuned until the end and I'll let you know what's going on. So the first thing I decided to do in this image from the artist edition of the buns is to take a Tombow marker and draw the darkest part of the sky or space. Now, I normally would probably either use watercolor for a very large area, possibly even charcoal, but Anne uses markers and she has got, like, to use a kid's words, she has mad skills with markers. So I wanted to at least do a little in this image, like she would. So I figured that this would be the darkest parts of space, and the other parts would be the aurora, and the dark parts would sort of fade into the aurora area. And I wasn't quite sure how I was going to accomplish that, but like Anne, I figured I would just take my time. So I also found out that Prismacolor pencils go over the top of Tombow watercolor markers perfectly. Here I just took the black Prismacolor pencil and went over the top of that Tombow black just to fill in some of the areas to make it perfectly even. From watching Anne's channel, I've learned several things about her. First of all, that she is much more organized than I am, and she's got pretty much an idea of what's going to happen and the colors picked out almost all the time ahead of time. As you can see from my desk around here, I'm probably a little bit different, and maybe I fly by the seat of my pants a little bit more, but that's fine. And that's actually a very good thing, because there's so many different channels that we can all learn from on YouTube, and my channel is very different than hers, and hers is very nice because she truly takes her time and does color alongs, and it's almost like hanging out with a friend in a coffee shop or in your living room and coloring. Now, this first color is a Prismacolor and it's neon yellow, and I had never done an Aurora Borealis before, so I was a little more tentative than I normally would be if I had done it before. I was using a very light touch, and I found that the harder I pushed with this color, the more neon it actually looked. Now, I also went a little bit underneath the Aurora line. You can probably see what I'm talking about. It's a clear line of demarcation, but I went even more underneath it because I figured I would be blending in an area of the sky with a darker color. Now, I made this faster because once I figured out how I was going to do the yellow, it was all basically the same. I did the bottom part of each piece of the aurora with the most pressure, and as I went up toward the top of the page a little bit more, I went a little bit lighter. So the bases are with hard pressure, and then I sort of like did a flick method going up, so it kind of looked like it was fading into the sky. So after I finished the neon yellow, I knew that I was going to have to get darker and darker until I eventually faded the aurora into the very dark or even black sky. So the next color that I used was cadmium yellow from Faber-Castell. And that was the closest I could find to that neon yellow. And then after that, I used light aqua from Prismacolors. And right here I was just fussing around. I was trying to figure out what would be the best colors to make that gradation from very light to, you know, deep sky blue or black. The light, that alien green light from the Aurora, would turn the sky various colors. When it first got a little bit darker, I thought it would look aqua, and then Caribbean Sea. The rest of these are also Prismacolors. And then they get darker and darker. I also used cobalt turquoise because it wouldn't just be light to dark, it would turn the sky various colors. I pondered for a second to put a hot pink or some rose, but I mostly stuck with the greens, the turquoise, the china blue, periwinkles, purples, ultramarine, and then eventually to black. I was doing experiments here also. Does the Caribbean Sea look better, closer to the yellow, or did the light aqua? And then once I figured it out, once I figured out the pattern, it was much easier. And I never got to completely finish it. I'm going to have to start a second video. Anne and I both wanted to get these done today, and she was much more ahead of the game than I was, and she's all ready to go. So I was watching the clock, and this took me much longer, so I had to speed it up, and so I'll put the finished image in another video. I started to incorporate cobalt turquoise here, and I also realized that I wasn't going to get away with doing any of this lightly. This had to be with a lot of pressure, and it all had to be blended in really well, or it wasn't going to look like a legitimate Aurora Borealis. It was going to look too messy. So I sped the rest of this up, and I wanted to show, because I wanted to be able to show you the technique, and I probably will post the entire thing, but for another video. This was light aqua, so I went back and forth with light aqua, cobalt turquoise, periwinkle, and Caribbean Sea. So it basically went from lighter to darker. And as you can see, as I went up toward that darker area, I got darker again. That's china blue. And then on top of the china blue, I used ultramarine. And I wasn't worried about being too perfect because I knew that these pencils blended like crazy. And the more colors that I used, the more real this started to look. So you can see with those purples, and I incorporated a darker purple at the very top. And that was a dioxazine purple hue. And I even went over the black with the purples and even the lighter colors because some of that glow was, in my head, appearing in the darker areas also. I also pulled some of the darker colors down into the Aurora, meaning into the glowing part, because it made it look a little bit more like it was bursting. Those lights were shining up from the bottom. I think it also helped that the paper in this book is, well, it's actually cardstock, so it was very easy to use many, many layers. As I did this, I got less and less worried about forming a specific pattern. It really didn't matter. As long as it went kind of from light to dark into the dark area, you can mess around with that any way you like. I was thinking you could even do it in a different color. Not all auroras are purple. They can be blue, they can be pink, they can be yellow. I wanted it to look sort of like a traditional, or what you would imagine an aurora to be. I also wanted to talk again about Anne's channel. She does the nicest thing also in the beginning. Like I've talked in the past about how I love flowers. She is truly a flower aficionado. She has them growing in her yard, and I'm sure that she takes so much of what she shows in her garden and incorporates it into her images. I took the Caribbean Sea and I started, it's a much lighter color than that dark area, but I started to color upwards over the dark area with this very light image, with this light pencil, and it showed up so nicely I decided to leave it. Now what I did here was just do the pattern, the basic pattern in all of the offshoots of the aurora. So first it was neon yellow, then it was light aqua, which I'm using right now. Then I went to Caribbean Sea. And you can tell that I wasn't being very neat, and it was partially because of a time constraint and partially because I really didn't feel like I needed to. First of all, because of the pencil. Second of all, because of the paper. And the image kind of lends itself to a more chaotic look. Then I started doing cobalt blue hue. And interestingly enough, this color, if you look at it separately, the tone or the value looks relatively dark. But when you use it in a picture like this, it's actually still considered part of the light. I'm going to be using much darker shades after this. I'm going over the bottom and incorporating some more intense neons. Right there, I added a little bit of a curve almost into that piece of the aurora, and now I'm pulling some of the darker areas down. I also noticed that when you start to use layer after layer with these colors, especially the light aqua, the neon, and the cobalt turquoise, it forms this gorgeous Caribbean green on its own. Most of my videos are demos or reviews of products, and a lot of Anne's videos are sit back and color alongs, and I really like them. And I've never really done them without a lot of editing or a lot of thinking everybody was going to get bored. And I started watching her and I realized that she's really, really good at just hanging out. She would be a great friend to probably sit around and color and just do your thing with it. I talk a lot on my channel about, you know, relaxing and, you know, don't worry about it, but she really lives it. I don't think she edits. You know, she shows you picking colors, meaning, you know, if she says, "Ooh, I have to get all of my blues," she shows what she's doing. I don't know. I really like her style. Anyway, that's why I reached out to her. I thought our styles were so different, and I thought that, that my following would really, really like to see what she's doing. And I'm sure that some of you already do follow her because she is really well known. But for those of you who don't know her, I would recommend going over to her channel and definitely subscribing to her. And the giveaway that we're doing at the end of this is partially my channel and partially her channel. So you'll have to subscribe to both to enter. But as you'll see in a few minutes, the prizes are really worth it. So I thought this technique was pretty cool. And I thought that since I do videos every month anyway, and I would like you all to meet Anne, that I thought it would be really nice to incorporate. So what we're giving away is Mungyo, I think it's a 64 set of pastels, an Ohuhu electric eraser, a set of Crayola double-sided detail markers, a pencil caddy, a 48 set of Bayland colored pencils, and a copy of the Buns artist version, which is printed on 110-pound cardstock and spiral bound. We will each be giving away a copy of this on our channels. The rules are that you have to follow me and you have to follow Anne. You can enter by commenting below, stating that you would like to enter, and leaving your email. And also give either or both video a like, and of course if you want to share, that's up to you, but we would both greatly appreciate it. So that's it. So it's super easy to join. It will be until June 1st. It's opened worldwide. And so that's about it for the giveaway. We both hope you join. I hope you go check out Anne's channel, and I do hope you subscribe to her because I really think that you'll like her color alongs and her information. She's been doing this since 2016, and I don't know. I love her. I think she's great, and I think you will too. So back to my picture for a second. You can see that I'm going very quickly here, and I'm trying to get this done by our deadline, which was 4 o'clock today. So I would definitely say that I would use Anne's technique on other images, especially on ones with thicker paper like this one. I think that it saved me so much time, and I probably could have even used the black in a larger area, but I wasn't as secure with it as she is, and I'm sure she has plenty of videos on her channel about how to color with markers. I should also tell you her channel is called A Colorful Life, and I will put all the links below and all the information below in the information box about what I just said and how exactly you can enter. So I'm not going to finish this image today, like I said, because I don't want to do it a disservice, because I really like the way it's coming out, and I may end up using some turpenoid or possibly a blender, and I might even add a bit of color, different color, at either the horizon line where the sun might be rising or setting. I'm not quite sure how the aurora works. In my head, it was always at night. So this is about it for now. I will finish the buns and I'll finish the water below. I'll also do a reflection of the aurora in the water and possibly on the mountains and on the ice, and possibly even on the fur of the bun's big heavy coats. So that's it for now. Like I said, I hope you go check out A Colorful Life with Anne. I hope you join our giveaway because we have some great prizes. And that's it. I appreciate every single one of you. I'm glad you're here. And once again, I'll see you in the next video. Click below, subscribe to me, subscribe to Anne, and we'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye.